welcome back to another episode of Painting with that guy, me, Painterdude. If you're watching this video, then you must have bought one of these, a Bob Ross basic kit. This video is an idea for people who just bought the basic painting kit from Bob Ross and just want an idea of something to paint and try with just those materials. So I'll be doing this entire painting with nothing but the number 5 painting knife and the 1-inch brush. Sorry about that. I'm using a new mic today, so I hope the video sounds better than usual. So I only have 5 colors: titanium white, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, sap green, and cadmium yellow hue. You can see I have a gray canvas here because I'm also going to show you how to apply liquid white. Just in case you need to. Now that's why it's obnoxiously gray, because I'm hoping it shows up on camera. Well, I guess we better get started. One of the things you should, going into liquid white, I have a little puddle up on a piece of palette paper. Let's see, here's my new palette. I actually tried to film this video before, but it had no audio, which was fine. So you do need paint thinner, odorless thinner, or odorless mineral spirits. You also need a canvas, obviously. As a beginner, I think you should start small. I started with 8x10s when I first started painting, but I was doing acrylics. For this, using a big 1-inch brush, I'd recommend starting with between 9x12 and 12x16. This here is a 12x16. So definitely start small and not big, or it'll take you forever. That's one of the issues of the last video. So I'm putting little streams of the liquid white on here in thin strokes because, well, we only want a thin coat here. So just sort of put it all in thinly and evenly. Sort of scrubbing it all in. I'm trying to do this quickly. I might, after I get this part, you see how I'm doing it, so in case this video is really long, I may actually fast forward this part. This is a panel. You can paint wet on panels. That or stretch canvas. Bob said you shouldn't do the canvas boards because the liquid white dries too fast. You must have been talking about the real big thick ones, because the panels I've been using, the liquid white still takes a very long time to dry. Sort of scrub it in. You also need a sturdy easel. Yeah, ironically, this is not as sturdy as I thought it would be. I should do another product review of this easel. Maybe, and then get myself another easel. I kind of like it. I'm a Bob Ross enthusiast, so. Let's see, yeah, there. One more little smidge there. I'm using my old 1-inch brush. I don't want to put all the pressure switching between colors on my new one, so I'm only using this. And if you're following along, you have a bigger canvas and you have other brushes, obviously you can do that. But for the people who only have this kit and just the basic necessities, I'm only going to use the 1-inch brush and the knife. But if you do get serious about painting and you want to keep going with it, I recommend you get a couple things. You also need a palette, but a paper plate will do for a palette, honestly. You need, I'd recommend you getting a fan brush and a liner brush, script liner. There we go. That is applied thinly and evenly. If you want to check that, you can take your finger. You can still see your fingerprint through that thin layer. You have done it perfectly. Just don't forget to cover it back up. Now I'm going to wash the 1-inch brush in my paint thinner. And shaking it off and beating the devil out of it. I use a splatter box and a brush beater rack. Let's go in it. Man, I need to wipe that sap green. I'm also using Bob Ross oil colors. Obviously, it'd be wrong of me to use different paints not Bob Ross, because this is a Bob Ross paint video. Start cleaning my knife. Take the 1-inch brush and go into phthalo blue, sort of pull it down. Get a even distribution of paint by tapping on the ends of the bristles, and then start in the corners with little X strokes. I may make a time lapse of the other video. I still haven't decided. I probably will. Just keep doing X strokes. I'm not doing the painting that came with the case because Bob shows you how to do it on that booklet. But if you'd like a demonstration of it anyway, or you'd like me to see do something similar to it, do let me know. Promise I'll get back to you. Although in the unlikely event that you're watching this video and there's tons and tons and tons of subscribers, please give me a bit to get back to you. I doubt that will ever happen though. Now I'm going to wash the 1-inch brush again. There we go. Nice clean brush. And go straight into titanium white and pull down in one direction. I'm going to take the rounded edge to the corner of the top. We're going to make some fluffy little clouds. That was very vague. Let's add more paint. I bet you that'd change it, make it better. Let's do a big old cloud here. Oh, forgot to wipe off the brush before doing that. It's alright. As long as it's brighter than the sky color. I like to do these type of clouds with a fan brush, but since this kit didn't come with one, I'm not going to make one with the fan brush. Just washing the 1-inch brush again. Now we're going to lightly blend the base of these clouds. I want to sort of let them disappear. I'm doing this very gently. Not touching the tops of the clouds yet. Now I'm going to wipe that off. Gotta fix my towel rack. Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna lift up. I'm doing big circular strokes. also like to say that this video is, as of the filming of this, not sponsored by the Bob Ross Company. I'm not even a certified instructor. I'm just a guy having fun on YouTube. So, yeah, just so you know. I might become one day, who knows. CRI. Now you can leave more brush strokes or remove them. That's totally up to you. A guy on PBS named Wilson Beckford says that Da Vinci would blend a little more and Van Gogh would leave a little more texture in it. So it's completely up to you. I'm going to add one more cloud on it. So I'm going to try to, there we go. Going through it in one direction. Load a tremendous amount of paint. And maybe there's one right here. Notice I'm doing this clouds in this cloud below the other one in the darker area so that it shows up. Heck, I'm gonna add another one over here just a little one. I'm also you can sort of push in the clouds a little bit. Washing it again. And beating the devil out of it again. Okay, so now I've got to lightly blend it a little bit. I'm going to pull them up like I did with the other ones. Now I'm lightly going over these two hairs and some errors, Bob would say. Excuse me. Okay, now it's time to mix this up some mountain color and build a happy little mountain. So I'm going to take Lizard Crimson, Phthalo Blue, and add Sap Green. Why not? That'll make a dark black color. Might have thrown too much crimson into that. It's alright. This color's so dark I can hardly tell what it actually is. That's good. It means I'm getting a good mountain color. I'm going to add a little more phthalo blue into that. There we go. I just wanted to stable my palette a little bit. I built it a little too light. Pull it out. You want to see what color it is, just take a little bit of white, some of that color, mix it in here. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this purple color, pull it out flat, and get a little roll on the edge of my knife, and I say that a mountain lives here. Yep. Really push that paint in. Now as you get better, you can actually make more distant mountains, like maybe add some white to that mix. I just looked at my microphone. Actually add some white to the mix to make the mountains lighter, and then just use just the dark color in front of it so you have better depth or value. I believe I did a video, the tutorial, the 3-parter, not too long ago, where I actually did that. So if you want to see that, you can go check it out. Scraping out all the excess paint. I think I need one little peak here. You can probably hear how hard I'm scraping on the microphone. Oops, it's It's alright, I can make the mountain a little taller. See that? Fixed it. I'm going to wipe that off. Now I'm going to take the 1-inch brush. It's still dirty, didn't wash it. Probably should have. I'm going to pull the mountain out. So I'm going to start with the big one. Crawl the top, sort of wiggling that in. Now I'm going to pull it out. You can outline your highlights and shadows this way too. Maybe we can make that one a distant mountain, like a mountain behind this one, I mean. Yeah, and just sort of blend the base into mist. That's big mountains. Might have made them a little too big. That's alright. Okay, now it's time to highlight it. I'm going to take some titanium white and pull it out flat. Now a good way to practice this paint breaking, I'm going to show you what that is in a second, is to actually practice on your palette and we'll pull it out flat, cut off just an itty bitty little roll. Then sort of hold the knife at what works best for me is a 35-45 degree angle. I'm going to touch the top and with no pressure let it break. It's better to do this on a plexiglass palette and palette paper. It seems to break better on that. And do it with no pressure. That's the biggie. Firm paint and no pressure. You do this with thin paint, it's not going to work. I've tried it with thin acrylics and it never worked. Touch the top and let it break. See, that didn't work well. So I'm going to scrape all that off and do it again. Exactly how you can correct that. I've done it many times. There we go. Seems like it's never there. Almost. Pull the paint out flat. Get a little roll. Touch the top. And come down with it. Touch the top. You should. What you want is those little holes. That's good. That makes your mountain seem realistic. Also notice that I'm not doing the edge of this mountain completely like a straight edge. I'm leaving it sort of jagged. No pressure. Alright. I'm going to add just the least little bit of highlight on this guy. That's probably good enough. A little roll, and let's maybe do this guy. Said we were gonna put him in the back, I think. And there you go. He's, well, not in the back yet. There we go. Oh, well, that breaks. Take me a lot of practice to do that. And don't worry if it doesn't seem like it's going well for you at first. I started with acrylics, but I was still, even though I had that experience, I was still terrible at breaking paint on mountains when I started with oils. It was like starting over again a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Heck, maybe this one's actually joined together with it. I'm sorry if this is going too slow. I really like to... Sometimes it actually breaks when you're going faster. It usually breaks a little better. Sorry about that. I had to pause a little bit on taking the more white paint and sort of, yeah, covering that dark edge up. Mountains always look more distinct at the top than on the bottom. There we go. Let's see. No pressure. And it's time to do the shadow. So I'm taking a little bit of titanium white, just a slight bit of phthalo blue, and mixing it together to get a light blue color. Trying to do this fast. The mixing part, I mean. Oh, and just for reference, there's a lot colors you can mix between just these 5 paints. For example, the red and blue, they make a very nice lavender color. And the red and sap green make a gorgeous transparent brown. Let's see. There it is. Pull it out flat, get a little roll. Now the same side, instead of going this way, we're actually going to go, that way. I like to, actually I should have said this before, I like to do my highlights from the right because I'm right-handed, or a right-handed painter. But you can do highlights from the left even if you're right-handed. I may do that one day just to show you. See, touch, let it break. I'm sort of doing a little arc with it. Oh, we wanted to put that mountain in the bag, didn't we? Well, let's put some shadows on him. And then take a roll of this, just come woo right through it. Actually, I can probably scrape off that whole little bit right there. Take some of this blue color and redo it. Yeah, just like that. It's still getting, I'm not getting all the paint breaks I want there, so I'm gonna scrape it off there and do it again. Usually the way to do it. That's what I'm looking for. If you want to, you can mix some of the base color that we used to make the mountain, mix in with a bit of white and make that your shadow color if you didn't want it to be blue. Maybe this is a distant peak too. I don't know, I kind of, well, ah heck. Let's re-highlight him. I do that a bunch, probably more than I should. But that's the beauty of it. This technique, you can change whatever you want. So where's my white? Here it is. Take some of this white, let out flat. And voila, our re-added highlights. There we go. Yeah. Now to re-highlight the shadow side. Back to the shadow side. Let's see, right here. Yeah. It'll even. Yeah, that's good. If you wanted to actually, add some shadows in between the mountains, just take your roll and literally in between here. Just do that. Ooh, there's one right here. Yeah, that one looks really good. To me, anyway. I hope it looks good to you. Yeah. Down where these two meet, I'm gonna leave it alone like that. Now after we've finished highlighting, which I'm assuming we did, I'm going to take a little highlight and put a little emphasis on right here and right here, just to make them sort of pop a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take this 1-inch brush, make sure this one is clean. Mine is not, so I'm washing it again. Now, as the oil paints are safe to use, the paint thinner is probably not. If it has the CL logo on it and not AP, it means it has toxic chemicals. So I hope you're working in a well-ventilated area if your paint thinner is not AP rated. And if your thinner is AP rated, I'd like you to please put in comments below what it is. Because chances are I'm probably still using what I'm using. I use Terpenoid. That's what Bob used. With the dry brush, tap on the edges of your mountain like this. Now, the way to do it pay attention to your angles, do it in the direction of the highlight. So maybe this little guy, he's a slight exception. Now if you're really brave, you can go up in between the shadow area and sort of blend it a bit. There we go. Sort of patting it, tapping it. Then pull up, brush up, just lightly. There we go. We got some pretty nice little mountains. Now it's time for some foothills. I'm going to take some sap green, just sort of load it up with a little bit of this dark color. Maybe even a smidge of the phthalo blue. I want it to be a nice little bluish green color. Now sort of tap in a foothill. Do this in the mist area below the mountain. That'll look the best. Goodness me, I forgot to add in the water. Goodness me, who says that anymore? More like a, this seems to be more like a little mess of trees, but that's alright. These are also a light color because it's in the distance. Alright. So I'm actually going to clean this brush and put a little more phthalo blue on my palette because I ran out. I'm going to take that phthalo blue, load just a little bit, tap it in like I did for the sky, from the bottom, sort of make level strokes inward. Sorry, I meant to do this earlier. You want to add a little greenish tint to the water. Can actually add a little bit of the sap green to this. Once you do that, you can just slightly go over it. There we go. Oops, let's leave that a little brighter. There we go. Throw in some white. Wipe that brush off. A lot of times you don't really need to wash the brush, you can just sort of wipe it off. Washing the brush is fun though. Sometimes you can also beat the excess color off. See, back to this green color. I'm going to add a little bit more right here in the blue. Make it look a little better. Let's see, now pull it down. A nice little flat line. And we'll make this our reflections. Oops. So now I got white in it. Fix that. Just tap in a little more of that dark green and tap it in that area. I'm usually using the corner of the brush. Now I'm going to lightly pull straight down on it. Lightly, I'm not really doing this lightly. make sure it's straight down. You don't want to make it look like your water's running crooked. There we go. Just had to wipe the color off. Just lightly go over these reflections. Okay, if you wanted to give the indication of like a trees back there, you can take the knife and scrape it in. Now, as my canvas was primed gray, anybody will be able to see is some gray trunks. Hopefully you did yours on a relatively white canvas, if not at a grayish tint. Yours will be able to show up and look quite nice. I can still see it though, so I'm sorry if you can't. Oh, a little excess green there. I'm going to take the knife, put just a little bit of liquid white on my palette. Sort of pull it out, and then do an arc. And do that again. Pull it out flat, and do an arc. That loads a little bit of liquid white on the edge of the knife. Then just cut in some water lines. Ooh, still not used to this palette yet. How could I be? This is only the second time I used it. Need more liquid white. I'll just leave a little pile on my palette anyway, just to have some for the bush highlights I'm going to do later. Yep, do these straight as you can. That's what'll look the best. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna wipe the knife off, and it's time to add the trees. I'm gonna take this dark color, sap green, and load it to a chiseled edge. It takes a lot of paint to get this knife to a chiseled edge. I also do these evergreens with a fan brush usually. Let's see, just need more paint, that's all. Going right into the mountain color. We'll have no more use for it, as it's, we used it. So I'm wiggling the brush and then loading it to a chiseled edge. And it should be very sharp. Now, excuse me, load it down like that, and you can either, I'll just do it both ways. You can do this. I have a different brush I usually use for doing this. It's just sort of tap it out like that. Just like that. Now the other way is to glue it back to a chisel edge. Now this is the way I don't usually do it well, at least with a 1-inch brush. Get it to your chiseled edge, maybe right here, he has a little friend. Take the corner of the brush and sort of tap it in. And that's the way I usually do it. I'm going to take more of this dark color and tap in a little grass area. Hoping this video is at least under 30 minutes. I apologize if it's not. I know people don't like to watch long videos. Usually, I mean, I don't usually hear any feedback about that. What the heck, I'm going to have this extend all the way over here. It's a nice little grass area. Maybe we'll do an entire, you can do an entire painting using nothing but the knife. I'm amazed at people who can actually do that, 'cause I'm not very good with the knife yet. There's some shadow is a little into my highlight there. Just look weird to me. Don't know why I'm messing with it. Let's see, now it's time to make the other deciduous tree. Go through your sap green, dark color in one motion only. If you'll notice, this is just like how we did the cloud. A lot of paint. And then right here would be the ideal spot for maybe a little bunch, if not one deciduous tree. Notice I'm bending the brush, I'm not pushing it. So maybe, yeah, why not? Maybe there's one little bush here. Now I'm going to clean the brush. Had a lot of paint on it. Whenever you're transitioning from a dark color to a light color, you gotta wash the brush. Right. So I'm going to take a little bit of sap green and go right into this cad yellow. Load a bunch of it in. Oh, I'm also going to take a little bit of liquid white with that. Now, if the liquid white will change the value a little bit. It'll make it a little brighter. But if you don't want to do that, you can add just the least little bit of paint thinner. See right here. See, because I thinned it, the highlight's going right on top of it. And that's the golden rule of wet on wet oil painting is, if you have a thin paint, will stick to a thick paint. A lot of paint. Touch of liquid white. Now, very top. I'd actually do this just slightly higher from the starting point, just to make it a little more realistic. And that stuck really, really well. There we go. The trees, well, you gotta get it to a chiseled edge again. Like that. And, well, for this, you just sort of just highlight the right side of the tree. Hopefully you left a little detail on that left side. Right here, you just take the corner of the brush and only highlight the right side. Try not to tap too much, then you'll become a mud mixer. That's not something you want. Take a little highlight, mix it with sap green, maybe at least a little bit of paint thinner. Tapping it in. So a little rigid paint, there's one like it on the brush. Let's start here. It's going to get darker, 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 and darker as you go down. That's actually too dark for me. I want a little more yellow to it. One cool thing I'm going to do, everything I'm doing is cool, right? Sparkle the right side of the grass where light would hit it. I'm not going to do this past this little point because well, there's a bush in front of it. Should be a little shadow here. See here, I'm going to tap in grass hill highlights there. I'm going to let it be darker on this side because there's not as much light hitting it. Sort of mingle these areas a little bit, blend them. And if you wanted to add detailed shadows to it, all you gotta do is go on your sap green and tap down that side of it. Okay, that was a little too dark of that. That was too bright. Let's tap on that. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so we got the grass, we got the tree, we got all of that, which is why all I wanted to put in now. I'm going to show you how to sign your painting without a script liner. After, actually, this pertains to doing it. I'm going to scrape in some branches and limbs, a little random, like. Obviously, put it wherever you'd think there'd be a tree branch. Same with here. Yeah, scraping it in. And that's the way I'm going to sign the painting. Just like that. Sort of etching it in. And that's not bad. I hope you absolutely enjoyed this video tutorial. I hope no chunk of it is missing, and I hope it's under 30 minutes. I hope this is a great idea for you to try. Let me know how it works for you. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Yeah, I hope it goes good for you. Happy painting, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.